Recording in progress.
All right. Hey, everyone. So today's lesson is super fun. It's all about the ancient Greek philosophy of Eros, which means passionate love. So today we're going to be talking about what that means in our love life and obviously in our artistic life. So we're going to talk about all the things, but before we get into it, I want to invite you guys to get out your art materials, get out your sketchbook, and go doodle while you listen to this chat. Okay, I'm going to be doodling as well as we kind of talk. So I'm going to be watercoloring. These are watercolor paints. I put them on this palette. I have this cute little cup here, and I'm just going to be like doodling along. So the reason why I love talking about this, you guys, is because I created an entire watercolor series all about the ancient Greek philosophies of love. So there's 7 different types of love in Greek. So before we get into Eros specifically, let's go over all of the different types of love really quick. Last week we talked about agape, unconditional love. So go back and watch that video if you haven't already. So agape is the deepest, most purest form of unconditional love. It's super powerful. And next we have philia. Philia is the Greek word for friendship, and this is a friendship love when two parties come together and want to watch each other prosper and bloom and like help each other thrive. And it's like a mutual beneficial relationship. So that's philia. And next there's storgi. Storgi looks like storgy, a little weird spelling, but in Greek it's storgi. And this is about familial love. So the bonding between like mother and child, grandparents, the familial bond. So the next one is Eros, which is what we're going to be talking all about today. This is passionate love, like an erotic love. In Latin, it actually means Cupid. So I'm sure you've heard of Cupid before. So Cupid and Eros, it's the same thing, like a passionate lover. We're going to talk all about it, I promise. But let's just go through the last few. This piece of art is inspired by the Greek word pragma. Pragma, spelled like this, pragma. And it's about a rational love. So for this one, I always like to describe pragma as like a love that starts out of convenience or rational logic, like an arranged marriage or like a relationship because of work or because of convenience. And then it develops into a deeper friendship. And because you have so much in common already because of practicalities, you get this deep bonding relationship from all the things you have in common. So we'll talk more about that one too. And then there's 7 different types of love. So the one we didn't talk about was ludus, and ludus is like a different type of love that is also, I don't know, I didn't write about ludus because I thought it was like a weird meaning. So maybe we will get into it and I will research more. I remember a long time ago I researched it, but I kind of forgot what it meant. So I remember like not liking the definition. So if you're curious, go do a quick Google search and be like, what is ludus? I think it's like an envious, like a weird, it's like a weird love. So I didn't feel called to make art about that word. So anyways, go look it up. But anyways, on this blog, I talk about my own love life and how my relationship with my husband is a very encompassing of all these 7 words and how I created this relationship with him and like my personal sort of story with love. So if you're like being interested or nosy or just like want to get a little peek inside my life, you can come and read more on my blog. And then, oh my gosh, these are so cute for my wedding. Okay, but anyways, oh yeah, and then this piece is about passion and friendship together when you merge the two of Eros, which we'll talk about today, and friendship, passion and friendship together. It's like when you do things because you love each other, you're best friends, but you're also passionate lovers. So this is a picture of Angela watering my plants. How cute, like so cute. But anyways, and all this series was inspired also by the water in Greece, and the colors were inspired by the sunset, the radiant sunset, and like how our souls experience that feeling of feeling like encapsulated with nature in the sun. And it's just like this picture just radiates like love. I feel like the love of nature, the love of life, the colors are so vibrant. And so that's what this image was like, the inspiration for the series. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about what Eros is and how we can implement it in our artistic practice and in our personal life. So Eros is a love conceived by Plato. So our ancient Greek philosopher that we love, Plato, our main man, he invented this word, and it describes like it's a fundamental creative impulse having a sensual element. So, okay, I'm gonna start painting now because this is a lot to see brief and to talk about. So a love that is conceived as a fundamental creative impulse. I love that the word creativity is in this definition because you guys might think like, oh, like this love stuff doesn't relate to our artistic practice. But the reality of the situation is that these words of love are not just about like your relationships with other humans, but it's like your relationship with your own self and your relationship with how you are creating your own life. And so by living a passionate life, like by doing things that you are passionate about and letting the creativity flow out of your soul, you are bringing Eros into your life. It's a sensual element. Like, I feel like when you're making art, it is this sort of like sensual experience. And sensual means like it's all of your senses are being used in this creative process. Like, what your body is experiencing. Like, art is not just like you're making things. Like, it's a whole body experience. It's a sensual experience. Like, you're using your body to create the lines, right? Like, your hands are a huge part of the process. Your eyes, your sight is a huge part of the process. Like touch, sight, smell. It's so sensual. Sensual is like bringing forward all of your human senses. And it's not even just like the five senses that we know of: taste, touch, smell, sight, and sound, but it's more than that. It's like this inner, it's like your inner world, your spiritual sensation, the spiritual sense in your heart comes out through you, through your hands. So it's this whole like body experience, right? It's like you're channeling your love and your passion through your senses out into the world. And I think that's like such a beautiful thing. It's like so crazy that Plato like understood humans and the human experience at such a like deep level. And like it's like nowadays it's like our society, like we're kind of like superficial humans. Like we don't really like talk about like our sensations past, like our sensations are literally like getting satisfied by scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on social media. And it's like, that's not really what humans are designed to be doing at all. And so it's like, no wonder everyone feels like lost and sad and depressed. It's because they're not challenging their senses. It's not like you're not creating something from a sensual, creative place. So it's like you're not allowing your creative impulses to really flourish because you're not participating with your senses, your human senses. Does this make sense? Sense. Oh boy. A lot of senses. Oh my God. I like make myself laugh. This is funny. But yeah, it's like you have to really have passion behind what you're doing in your day-to-day life. And the main takeaway I want you guys to get from this lesson is to create a reality for yourself. Like, do things every single day that kind of like force you to be creative. You need to like set boundaries and a schedule and a routine around these practices that bring you joy, that make you feel good, that are activating your senses. Because a huge issue I'm seeing today is like people just don't make time for artistic endeavors. And like, I'm guilty of this too. I'm not going to sit around and preach to you guys and act like I'm so perfect, because I'm not. It's really like, it's really like a discipline, even for me, like to sit down and paint. But it's like I've scheduled it into my life. I'm creating my life as we speak to like embody this creative spirit that I have to come out. And if it weren't for this lesson, me scheduling this lesson, like this lesson is scheduled. I literally have it on my calendar every Tuesday at 11, no matter rain, shine, wherever I am in the world. This lesson is happening every Tuesday at 11. And so I've dedicated this time and space for myself because I've made this commitment to myself to speak about the topics that truly make my heart on fire. But I could always, like, if this wasn't scheduled, if I didn't have the obligation or like an external motivation to get me to do this thing at this time, I would probably make excuses and be like, oh, like my laundry's dirty. I'm staring at a freaking pile of laundry right now that I have to go do, because it's like, obviously, like I have house chores, I have to change my sheets, I have to like cook dinner, like I have to think about all these things. And it's like your day to day gets so busy so fast if you let it. You know what I mean? Like if you allow it, like your days just will slip through your fingers and you'll be like, what did I even accomplish today? Or what did I do today? And the reality is like your days are in your control. Your time is in your control, and you are in charge of how you dedicate your time on this earth. And so we really have to be intentional and meaningful with how we spend our lives, and making sure that we are carving out time every single day, no matter what, to bring out our creative impulses and stimulate ourselves, right? Like we have to make time for this, because what you spend your time doing is who you become. It becomes your identity. What you do is who you are. So by you making the choice to paint every day, you are claiming this identity as an artist, as a painter, as a lover of art and of beauty. So you have to take radical like responsibility over your time and over your life. And you have to make the decision of, I'm doing this for me, and making that like connection and loving yourself enough, having the love for your inner world to respect your erotic callings. Like these are your callings. Your Eros is your passion. It's like, this is your passion. This is what you're passionate about. This is what makes your soul on fire. You have this impulse to do it. And you have to listen to your calling and take the time every single day and make it a priority. Because if you truly love yourself, you will make it a priority and you will do it. So I don't want to keep preaching to the choir here, but if you're taking notes, like you, and like some tangible ways that we can do this together, you guys, is to literally paint and make it like, just like you have a journaling practice. And if you want to start like a new routine, like if you want to start a new habit, it's a habit. It's really comes down to the fundamentals of like a habit. And if you read the book like Atomic Habits, which I haven't actually read that yet, it's on my list, but I've listened to a lot of podcasts that they talk about it. And basically it's just like a repetitive action at the same time every day, and it becomes automatic. So the goal with habits, you guys, is for the habit to become so like seamless in your life, so automatic that you don't have to think about it. Your body just does it. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Your body just does it on autopilot. When your schedule and your routines are so concrete, and this is so important for us as creatives, but when your schedule and routines are so concrete and you have that discipline and you have that routine and that schedule, and you say, no matter what, I'm doing this at this time, like it happens and it becomes so easy. Your body wakes up, it rolls out of bed, it goes straight to the to the thoughts of gratitude, which you have to program gratitude. And then like you have to write in your journal, but if your journal's like right by your bedside, you just roll over and you write your 3 things down. You journal first thing in the morning. And then without even thinking about it, you don't have to think about it. It's right there. You wake up, you roll over, you open the book, you write, right? And then you wake up, you go make your coffee, you go eat some breakfast with high protein so that your energy levels are sustained throughout the day. You guys have to throw in some nutrition stuff. And then you go and you sit and meditate or pray alone for a few minutes. Don't have to think about that. Literally the easiest thing. Just sit on the couch and be comfortable and like meditate or pray. Think about how you want your day to go. Think about like visualize yourself doing the things you love throughout the day. If you want to, during this time, you can also write down all the things you want to do today that would make today great. Like what would make today great if you did what? This, and that. So you're visualizing your day before you even really do anything. And then you hit the sketchbook, just like you hit your journal, you hit your sketchbook and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And for me, it's really these watercolors that save me because honestly, you guys, I get caught up in life too. Like, don't just think like, cause I'm this artist person, like I'm perfect and I paint every day. Like that's honestly like not the reality a lot of the times. The reality is like, I'm freaking busy, but I make time for it. And I always love the watercolors because it's quick. As you guys can see, I'm working really quickly and I keep the palettes, the paint on these things, on these plates. And so even if it dries up, all I need to do is add water. And then I'm like, and like all this creative juice just like flows out and it's like so fun. You know what I mean? And so it's quick, it's easy. It's like I don't have to think about it. It's automatic. Right. And I'm just using lines and shapes. That's the other thing too. I feel like that stops artists from creating. They feel like they have to come up with something different every single time. And that's the biggest misconception, I think, as artists. Like we have this idea in our heads, like we have to come up with like new ideas, like every time we try to paint or draw something. But the reality is like your heart knows what to make. You just need to follow your calling, your intuition, and just make whatever you want and do the same thing every single day. Like I literally do these little um, I do these like line watercolors, like you guys just saw in the series that inspired this. I do these like every day. It's like the same thing, the same song and dance. It's the same thing, different variations. Okay. And I think that's actually beautiful because they're just multiple iterations of the same thing, you know? And it's like, that's a beautiful thing. It's like, it's easy for me to jump back into my practice because it's so automatic. I don't have to think about it. It's not stressful. It's not like hard. And that's the other thing too, you guys. A big mistake I see artists falling into the trap of is you feel like you need to be perfect and it feels like work or it feels hard or it feels like there's tension or resistance from you opening up your paints and getting onto the painting process because you feel the need to be perfect or you feel the need to be like something that you're not, to prove something to other people or to society or to whatever. Like you judge yourself too much and it's like, listen up. Like, listen, this is my little words of wisdom and advice is you have to do it. You have to make art for you and yourself only. And if your artwork is not making you happy, it's making you feel stressed or you're coming at your art feeling a certain way, you're feeling stressed, you need to sit with that for a minute and come to the conclusion of like, why do I feel stressed? Am I making art that is not what my soul wants to make? Like you need to really think about it. Like in our lesson, even yesterday with this, I told you guys it's okay that it wasn't perfect. You have to embrace your imperfections, embrace the oddities and things that don't make sense. You have to embrace that because that's what makes your art yours, you know? So you really have to just like come to the point where you're approaching your art with fun. Okay. When you think of your artwork, you should think this is going to relax my mind. This is going to make me feel better. This is going to bring my soul joy. This is going to make me happy. This is going to be fun. I want you to put the word fun in your vocabulary. And that's what passion is all about. Passion is about having fun, doing what you love. You guys, it's not rocket science. You just have to follow your heart's intuition and have fun doing it. And if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Okay? If you're feeling stressed around art, you're doing it wrong. That's not what art is supposed to do to you. Art's supposed to make you feel free. It's supposed to make you feel light. It's supposed to inspire you and make you like passionate and erotic and supposed to be sensual and amazing. It's supposed to be like the best experience of your day. So make it that experience for you. Okay. I want you guys to have serious, passionate fun when you're creating. And I want you to have fun in your friendships. I want you to have fun in your relationships, in your life outside of art, because we're very multi-dimensional humans. We have relationships with other people. We have so many like amazing like relationships and things that we do outside of art. And that's beautiful too. When you cook a meal, make it passionately. Go pick out and intentionally pick out the best ingredients to nourish your body. Everything you do is an artful act of love towards yourself and towards your life. So don't just think like, oh my God. And the other thing too, you guys, my little quote for the week that I keep repeating to myself is the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Okay. So the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So it's like when you create your life and everything you do, you think of as a fun piece of art or a fun activity, a fun challenge, a fun, stimulating, sensual activity, then your entire life starts to change. You start to up level in ways that you never even thought possible. So instead of like feeling like behind in certain areas, like for example, like the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Like I used to just like kind of half-ass kind of fold my laundry and like leave some socks in the bottom of the basket and be like, oh, like I'll fold those socks later when I find their match and just kind of like leave them there. Or I will literally like leave like 2 little cups in the sink and be like, I'll just do it later or like whatever. Or like I'll leave it for tomorrow. And it's like the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. I would sometimes like leave a piece of clothing in my closet and it's like slowly like it starts to like those little things that you think are little start to accumulate because then it becomes that habit of like, oh, I'm just going to leave it there. And then again, it happens. Oh, I'm just going to leave it there again. I'm just going to do it later again. And that becomes your routine, your automatic normal. And so it starts to pile up. And then you're like, oh shit, it's not just 2 socks now. It's actually like 20 socks. And it's like, oh, wait, it's not like 2 cups. Now it's a whole sink of dishes. And it's like that translates into our personal life and into our business life. Because then it's like you start neglecting your friendships, you start neglecting your relationships, you start neglecting your artistic practice in little parts of your business. You don't pick up the crumbs, like you need to do everything with intentionality and just put the socks away. Just put them away. Are you guys picking up on this metaphor? Just like do the thing, do it well, like get it done. all the way, like start to finish. Don't just leave something unfinished. Don't just leave it in the sink. Don't just leave, your practice aside, or don't just like leave things for later. Like whatever task that you're trying to accomplish, just get it done while you're doing it. Just be like, okay, this will take me 5 minutes to do. I'm just going to do it really quick. And then watch how that becomes your new normal. And then everything you do is like, it becomes that. So everything, it's like, okay, like these socks are annoying, but I'm just going to put them away because it's only going to take me 5 minutes. Or like, there's only 2 cups, but if I wash them really quick, it'll take me like 30 seconds to wash them. And then it's like the little things in your art or your business or your work, you start to like pick up all your crumbs and you start to fold all the laundry and put away the socks every single time. And then you're always like on top of it and you feel so accomplished and you have more room in your life to produce more quality work because you've done the little stuff. You've mastered the little stuff. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, I hope this was helpful. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So take that with you guys, think about it, and bring this passionate love for art, passionate love for each other into every little aspect of your life. Because the more you love yourself, the more you can love others too, So the more you can get out of your relationships with other people, the more satisfying your life will be altogether. And you guys, we really need community. We really need other people. We need love from others. And it's really important that we keep our connections with our friends and family like really strong, no matter what we're doing in life, and also like building and nurturing your creative community inside of our little world here, inside of our program. Give each other feedback, add to the chat. Like you guys are the ones that are creating this community. And the more we give back to each other, the funner it will be and the more we will all get out of it. So it's like what you give into the world is what you will get back. And so I'm a big believer in that. And I hope this little chat inspired you guys to really make your creative routine a priority in your day-to-day. Make it a non-negotiable part of your schedule. Make it a part of your daily habit. And choose to passionately pursue your heart's desires in a sensual way, using all of your senses, which is beautiful. And then also just like nurturing your relationships with your friends and doing everything in your life intentionally, because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. All right, you guys, without further ado, I think we're going to wrap it up there. And I hope you guys made beautiful art today. And we will talk very soon. Ooh, another little update before I leave, just because right after I end this call, I'm going to be heading over to the city to get my G-Clay prints professionally. Well, I'm picking up G-Clay prints from the print lab in the city. And then I'm also getting a giant painting titled Transparency. I'm getting it professionally archived today, which is really exciting. And I'm making prints of it. So you guys can pre-order prints, which is super exciting. So that's a really cool process that I'm working on personally in my own art business. And if you guys ever have questions about archiving or like how I do prints or whatever, make sure you always ask any questions that you have. Like, you guys, I'm literally here for you. I do not keep any information. I share freely. I want you guys all to succeed and I want you all to prosper in your creative journeys. So I'm here for you with any questions. So let me know. I'm always, available in the DMs, in the chats, and I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, we'll talk soon. Have a good week. Bye.